Good afternoon, folks. Thank you for being here. This is the Godly Trading Half Hour. Let's get started. So, today I promised you some results from our automated Frank strategy. And by the way, link to sign up for next week's free webinar, godlytrading.com. All right, before we get to the actual results, as always, we look for our verse of the day. This one came across me. This one came across my one of my morning journals, and it's just so applicable. Has anybody here ever felt overwhelmed in your trading? Have you ever just not been able to see? You know, they talk about see the forest for the trees, but I think sometimes we can't see the individual tree for the forest. Just trading can be overwhelming. Has anybody ever felt overwhelmed in your trading? I love this. So Psalm 142, verse 3. When my spirit was overwhelmed within me, then you knew my path. And I love how the New Living puts this. When I am overwhelmed, you alone know the way that I should turn. Look, guys, trading is difficult for everybody at the best. When you are feeling overwhelmed, I was doing it this morning, I think. Just pray out loud, and you'd be amazed the peace that you can have. So, having said that, one of the temptations when building and analyzing and creating trading strategies is to get overwhelmed with data. So I don't want to overwhelm you today, but let's take a look at what Frank has been doing. Now, this is our, do I have the little thing for the Frank robot cartoon? I do not. Okay. So I put Frank as, to give you an update on, or to give you a refresher course on what Frank looks like. Let me do this right here. And you can, but I went through today and did not find any setups. Boy, has anybody out there trading the stock market? Are you having a tough time? I mean, if you're going short, it's just great. But yeah, things have been taking an interesting turn in stocks on the market for the last couple of weeks. But anyway, I went through all of our Forex pairs. We do not have any new setups whatsoever. But just to give you a synopsis of what Frank does, Frank is just a momentum strategy. And by and large, what you want to see is a momentum candle that you hit your take profit the next day. That's what you're looking for. The next candle, I should say. So what I did was I put Frank on a lower time frame. Let me just see what it will look like if I did that. So I tried on the 5-minute and I tried on the 15-minute. And here are the results of this is the results of everything, both 5 and 15-minute, all mashed together. You shouldn't do that. You should separate things out. But so since last Monday, since the 16th, this is this just NDX? Let me take a look real quick. No, this is all of them. So this is what Frank looks like trading automated on the 5 and the 15. You say, okay, I've had a 5% week. That's good. I've had a 1% day. That's good. But I'm still down 1.5% because of this first day here. And you can see the different pairs of the different markets that it's trading. NDX is traded the most, and it's probably done the worst. UK 100, which if I'm being honest, I just kind of threw that in there because I wanted 3, 3, and 3. I wanted 3 indices, 3 commodities, and 3 Forex pairs. So I threw the UK 100 because it's the third most. Well, okay, the Dow Jones is the third most, but aside from the Dow Jones, it's the next most traded index in the mornings. It's done really well, actually. It's up 4% in a week. Good grief, it's up 4% in a week with a 71% win rate. Hey, guys, you want to have a good trading month? Trade Frank on the UK 100, which is also the London FTSE. I forgot to look at what FTSE stands for. But let me show you NDX specifically, because most people say, oh, I want to trade the NASDAQ. I want to trade the NASDAQ in the morning. This is NDX by itself. And you can see it's had Since I started trading on the 5-minute and the 15-minute chart, it's got a 33% win rate. Stay with me here because I want to explain these results. 33% win rate and about a 3% losing return, 3% negative turn, 2.5. So you say, well, that's not very good. Why are we talking about it? Here's what I have done with Frank. I built it mostly, dumped it on the practice account and let it run just because I was going on a cruise and I was doing other things. There's Frank right now entering a trade on the 15-minute chart on both the UK and the silver. Dumped it and went on. Finally today got around to back testing for different settings. One of those, guys, if you are a day trader, please, when you're back testing, look at time of day. And I know people say, well, your strategy should work no matter what. That may be true. It may not be true. So here's what I did. I took all of these trades from that have happened so far on Frank, and I added in what this would have looked like if I'd just been trading this as is, default settings, 24/7 or 24/5 all year long. And 5-minute test, default. Here we go. So as is, this would have been in 3 months. This is going back to January the 1st. This particular trading algorithm, this particular trading strategy, momentum on the 5-minute candle, trading the NASDAQ for quarter number 1 would have given you about a 3.2% return. Okay. Profit factor of 1.06. Profit factor is just your wins divided by your losses. The size of your wins divided by the size of your losses. It's good for evaluating, hey, where did my wins come from? Was it a couple of home runs or a lot of singles? Drawdown of 6% and then a win rate of 51%. Okay. So then here's what you do. Here is how you go from a mediocre strategy to a winning strategy. I took all of these results. By the way, you can see the graph here. Just kind of okay. A lot of times you think, well, I started here and I ended here. Okay. But you've got to live through all of this. Up and down and up and basically sideways. But here's how you make your strategy better. Constantly ask questions. For instance, this is trading the 5-minute chart all day long. Well, all day long for the NASDAQ is an interesting concept because what's happening at 7 p.m. doesn't matter what time zone. What's happening at 7 p.m. What's happening at midnight? What's happening at 3 a.m. The NASDAQ itself is not open, but the futures are. And this is a Forex version of that. So then I say, took these results, I dropped them into ChatGPT, and I asked it to do one thing for me. And this is where I think a lot of people don't take. And I would encourage you to take this step. Take your results, drop them into ChatGPT. You can, or your AI of choice. It doesn't have to be ChatGPT. It can be Claude. It can be Gemini. It can be Grok. Doesn't matter. All you're trying to do is sort and filter without going blind. That's all you're trying to do. And I said this, take these results and give me a chart that shows my return hour by hour based on the hour of entry, not the hour of exit. A lot of times your backtesting strategy will say, here's hour by hour what your return was. But what it's talking about is when the trade closes. That's not what you want. You want to know if I enter a trade at 8 a.m., what's that look like? What do all of the trades entered at 8 a.m. look like? So I dropped into there, and then a pattern starts to emerge. Our God is a God of patterns and repetition, and you can see his fingerprints everywhere. And so what I discovered was there were a couple of, give me 1 second. I'm on the phone. I'm in a Zoom call. I'm in a meeting. I'm on a Zoom call. Sorry about that. What I discovered was some time blocks that said, hey, during this time period, this thing works really well. And over here, man, does it fall apart. So for this particular Frank strategy, which is just momentum, again, the strategy is just this one thing. Hold moving average. Okay, there's two of them. This one is represented by just colors. 45 and a 200. That's all it is. If price opens below the green hole and closes as an engulfing candle, enter that trade at the high of the candle and wait for it's a buy stop. So you're wanting confirmation of momentum. That's it. That's all there is to it. That is the sum total of the strategy. So I found, let's do this. So same time period, right? January 1st to today, running it nonstop, $3,200 return with a 51% win rate. Running it just during 17 to 19 and 0 to 5. That's going to be morning and afternoon. Oh, that's right. This is 9 to 11 a.m. and 6 to 9 p.m. Those two blocks, 9 to 11 a.m., 6 to 9 p.m. Here's the difference. Now it's almost $13,000 return. So we went from a 3% return to a 13% return just by limiting when we're entering that trade. We went from a 51% win rate to a 60. Pepper, why don't you actually show the results on the screen? Sorry about that, guys. Back to what I was showing. So we went from a $3,200 return at a 51% win rate. I hope you guys can see that. To, and again, I don't want to overwhelm you, a almost $13,000 return. So $12,800 return and a 63% win rate. So an extra 10% in return and an extra 12% in win rate just by limiting. Now look at the chart. All right. Again, don't just look at where the chart begins and where it ends. Think about what your mindset would be like day after day after day of just nonstop. Hey, is this thing ever gonna? Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I'm finally winning. I'm finally winning. No. And just hit after hit after hit, as opposed to a slightly more sedate. Okay, yeah. Now we're doing some good. We're going sideways, but with an upward bias. How? So this one is this is March the 4th down through March the 6th. So 2 days of drawdown, and then we're back to this is a much calmer emotional journey than the first one, plus an extra 10% return, all by simply saying, when should I trade? In Genesis chapter 1, it talks about how, and you do this, that, you can't see me. In Genesis chapter 1, it talks about how God separates day from night. He separated the waters above from the waters below. That's all we are doing. We're doing a simple sorting and filtering. Hey, running nonstop isn't good. Let me separate out the wheat from the chaff. All of those time blocks that don't work, I just won't trade them. I'll just turn it off. So I had my AI code program build in a time filter and said, hey, turn yourself on at this time, turn yourself off at this time, and look at the results. The specific results of NDX that I showed you a minute ago from my FX book were here. 15 trades since last Monday. 15 actual live trades since last Monday. 33% win rate and about a 3% loss. Had I simply filtered for the time blocks, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Those two time blocks. What's that? 5 hours instead of 24 hours. This is what my results would have been. I would have gone from what was my loss on that? I would have gone from a $2,600 loss to where am I at? To a $400 win. I would have gone from a 33% win rate to a 50% win rate. Profit factor of negative to a profit factor that's positive. All by simply testing it. But the point I'm trying to get across here is when you test your strategy out, your first run through might not look good. Let me show you this real quick. Gold default on the 5-minute chart. All right. Drop gold, run it 24 hours a day on the 5-minute chart using Frank, and it gives you an $8,000 loss. Okay. Take that same exact thing, and this time only trade 7 to 4, only trade 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. and you go from an $8,000 loss to a $3,500 win. What is that? Almost a $14,000 swing just by limiting the time. So here's what I'm saying. Here's my point. Don't get discouraged when you do an initial test of some strategy. Say, oh, I really want to trade the gold in the 5-minute chart, but look at that, $8,000 loss. Let me go find something else to trade. No. Take a minute and analyze the results. Look at those results. Say, hey, is there anything here? I've got another example for you. Gold on the 15-minute. Gold on the 15-minute chart is a $2,300 return for the first quarter of 2026. That's not great. All right. Filter some of that out. Now it's a $8,000 or $9,000 return. I've got one more example, I think. S&P. Here we go. S&P on 5-minute chart, $17,000 loss. Put Frank, here's the chart. Put Frank, let him run nonstop, 24 hours a day, 5 days a week since January the 1st on the 5-minute chart, and he's going to lose you $17,000. Put some bumpers, put some guardrails around Frank. Say, no, Frank, you're only trading from from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Now Frank says, okay, well, if you're going to limit me to that, I'll give you a $5,800 positive return. I went from a $17,000 loss to a $6,000 win. So $23,000 move, a $23,000 gain, essentially. This is the point I'm trying to make. That there's so much more to trading than we think. One of the temptations, and remember, Paul says in First Colossians, which is not a book, that there is no temptation that has overtaken you except that which is common to man. In other words, every single trader has the same temptations out there. And one of those temptations is, this strategy is not working. Let me go find another one. Take a little time, spend a little time, and see if there's any way you could make this strategy work for you. When the first of the month rolls around and my automated, and it's time to trade my automated prop firm account again, I'm absolutely putting the 5-minute chart Frank EA of the NDX on there. I'm absolutely putting the 15-minute chart or 15-minute EA for gold on there. And I'm going to go through all of the ones that I've got. I've got gold and silver and oil. I'll test every one of those and see what it looks like. I've got NASDAQ, S&P, and the UK 100. I'll test all of those. And if you're trading 3 things, you don't need each one of those to get 30, 40% a year. Put 2 or 3 of them together. Bob is a strategy that's been on the shelf for a while. I haven't touched Bob. The whole point of Bob is, hey, we just want 1 to 2% out of each pair, right? Euro US, just give me 1% out of Euro US. 1% a year? Yeah, because I'm going to trade 27 others. That's all I'm looking for. So I'll keep updating you on the status of getting Frank ready for prime time. And if you guys have any suggestions on, hey, why don't you try it on this? Why don't you try it on that? I'll absolutely try it and show you the real live results. But as of right now, Frank is trading, well, I'm trading those 6 things, 2 of which have been fully tested. The other 4 are just sort of hanging out. Pepper, why are you trading 4 markets with a strategy that hasn't been fully backtested? Because anytime you build an automated trading system, there are two things you're testing: the system and the automation. So yeah, the S&P is not doing well, but I'm still seeing how the actual automation portion of it is operational. Hey, it's taking trades. The strategy might not be working, or the strategy might not work through those time periods. But I still need to know, can this piece of code execute the trades effectively day in or day out? Or is there going to be some situation that pops up where my algorithm goes, I don't know what I'm doing? Case in point, Forest automated trading algorithm. I had it on silver, doing great. And then one day, instead of going in at a 0.5% risk, it went in a 5% risk. Look, this is not human error. My trading robot fat fingered my position size one night. Like, okay, you're going in timeout. Can't let you do that. So this is why I'm okay on a test account, not real money, and not money that I'm not a prop firm account that I'm trying to apply biblical risk management to. This is my test account. It's what it's for. It's the whole purpose of it is to just test things out on. I'm okay with letting some things run that I haven't optimized strategy-wise so that I can just see what the robot does day in and day out. Because you never know when a glitch is going to happen, and you don't want that to happen. I had a PAM account, PAMM. I forgot what that stands for. And one night I woke up and the fellow who was managing it lost 70% of the account overnight because he forgot a thing. I don't even remember what the thing was. Doesn't even matter. So I'll keep you guys up to date on Frank. We're going to get back to Forest. We will talk about Frank Jr. I will probably code Frank Jr. at some point here soon. Frank Jr. is an add-on. Frank Jr. is an upgrade, not upgrade. Frank Jr. is a supplement, not a strategy of his very own. So with that, guys, if nobody has it, let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to drop the link here again. We have a webinar coming up. We have a trading class, a free trading class coming up next Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central. The 5 mistakes that are keeping your trading stuck in struggle mode. 5 mistakes that pretty much every trader makes without realizing it. You can sign up for free at godlytrading.com. On the front page is register, and I'll send you an email about it. So if somebody has any questions, thank you guys for being here, and I'll check in with y'all tomorrow.